Hey everyone, it's Diana Newen here from Trinity Health and Living. It's been a very long time since I've done a video of myself. A lot has happened in the meantime. Getting pregnant, having a son, and getting everything back up and running sort of thing. But today I wanted to talk to you about one of my latest service offerings, which is spiritual clearing. This was launched in September 2022, but I've had a number of questions around this. I haven't had the time to be able to do a video, but now I do. So hopefully I'll be able to answer a lot of the questions that you have around it. If you do have any other questions after this video, feel free to just email me through your questions and I will answer them for you. But essentially, the spiritual clearing service that I provide is a comprehensive energy clearing. Now, when I talk about energy clearing, it's not just about, scanning your chakras or your energy field for energies and then getting rid of them and then plugging up holes and gaps in your aura and all that sort of stuff. What I do is a bit more deeper, and it's really about clearing any non-beneficial frequencies and energies, darker energies, which are in your field. Now, I'm going to use certain terms that I think in the collective consciousness have a little bit quite loaded with fear. But for me, just know that it's just a negative energy or a negative entity. It's just my way of labeling the energy. That's how I can know what energy is what, if that kind of makes sense. So when I'm talking about the darker energies or energies that are harder to shift, I'm actually talking about things like demonic energies that can be attached to you, as well as some darker ET or reptilian energies, interdimensionals, along with psychic cords. We check any portals which are open within your energy field as well, and any entities, as well as deceased souls. Now, sometimes you'll have deceased souls which are attached to you, which pretty much are just souls that don't know they're dead and just need a little bit of help to go to the light. So that tends to be pretty easy to move on. However, there are some other souls out there that know they've passed, but have chosen to, work with the dark side more than the light. And so they're doing work from the other planes, which isn't really helping anyone whatsoever. And so in the spiritual clearing, myself and the guides, we can identify those and clear them as well. And what else? Just trying to figure out what other things. If you've got any implants and devices, we can clear those, as well as psychic attacks, which include any certain curses, spells, spears, hooks, or anything like that, which are in you. Now, it can be cleared to the extent that I can clear it. Sometimes there needs to be a little bit more of a conscious work to be done from your perspective to clear. But for the most part, anything that can be cleared, myself and the guides will clear it during that clearing. So yeah, it's actually perfectly normal to have these sorts of energies attached to you. That's the first thing I want to tell you. It's normal, especially with people who begin to dabble or play or work in the energetic realms. You kind of don't know what you don't know, and so a lot of us are quite empathic, and we can take things on without actually realizing that we've taken it on. And so when we can identify certain energies that we've taken on, then it's easier for us to realize when we're taking it on later, and then putting some boundaries in place to get rid of it, or go and get a clearing or something like that. So just know that some of these energies that I can clear as part of the spiritual clearing may actually have been with you across lifetimes. Okay, there's been a lot of clearings that I've done where certain demonic energies have been around for thousands of years, and so we go back and we clear the original source of where it came in, and then that will have the ripple effect throughout time and space and your different multidimensional aspects of yourself and all that sort of thing. So we work on a very multidimensional frequency when it comes to doing this spiritual clearing. So if you, for example, have issues with commitment or intimacy, just know that sometimes this might be because you've actually had certain entities which have been attached to you from previous lifetimes. Now, I'm not saying that's the cause of all of your issues, because it might not be. But for some people, that would be the cause. And so we can go through and we can actually get rid of that for you. Now, how do you know if you kind of need one? Essentially, if you're feeling really tired, if you've, some people have had chronic fatigue, which hasn't really been able to get better with medicine or whatever else that you've been trying to do with it. If you have certain aches and pains in your body, again, which cannot be explained by medicine and anything else that you're doing. If you feel like you're depressed, you're lacking motivation, if you have voices, you feel like your voices in your head, feeling like you're not actually really here, you might actually have these attachments on you. There have been a couple of clearings that I've done on people who've been experiencing chronic fatigue or certain pains in their body, and once cleared, it left. So it's just really interesting because a lot of the times in the metaphysical world, people will say, if you've got something on you, then there's a reason for it. There's something that you need to learn. There's, a thought pattern or belief that you have, which, is not very helpful. And so you need to work on that, and then the symptom or whatever will go away. In the majority of cases, yes. But there may be other issues and other times where the actual underlying cause of the issue is not that sort of thing. And so this spiritual clearing that if I can help work on those sorts of things as well. So let's just see what else we have here. Oh yes, the other thing is we tend to get these things attached to us either because one, our boundaries are low or non-existent, or we've suffered some sort of trauma in the past which has kind of blown apart our energy field to allow these sorts of energies to come in. Now, in terms of the latter, examples can be suffering soul loss, whether it is due to big trauma like an accident or sexual abuse or something like that, even abduction as a child or something, that can really tear holes in your soul and then invite these other energies to come on in. If that's the case, what happens part of the spiritual clearing is that if the fragments of the soul feel safe to come back into the body, what we in the shamanic practices call soul retrieval, we will do the soul retrieval for you as well to ensure that whatever was the underlying cause of whatever energy had come in, that's stopped. Okay. But there are other things that can open up your aura as well, such as drinking alcohol, taking drugs. Those really blow you up. So you have to be really careful about that. Don't take it to excess. Those with a stronger aura, you'll be able to, participate in those sorts of things, but don't do it to the point where you pretty much lose your ability to make rational choices for yourself, sort of thing. Because when that happens, then it's very easy for things to come in. Other times might be, when you're just feeling low in general, and you go to places like pubs, obviously cemetery, shopping centers as well, anywhere where a lot of people congregate. And even if there'd been trauma in the land, wherever you're passing through, some of these energies can seek to attach to you there as well. So, just know that there are various many reasons why things might attach to you. Sometimes you've done nothing wrong. Other times it's just like, time and place, you being there, they're attracted to your light, they're attracted to what you have. And so then they come on. But just know there's always, if they can come on, they can also be gotten rid of. And, we are all very powerful beings anyway. So, yeah, it's, in some cases, it can be very difficult to get rid of. In most cases, it's actually relatively simple to get rid of. Okay, so just know that the spiritual clearing, that service that I provide to you, can help you with all of the above. Also knowing that as I continue to grow and expand and learn from each of the clearings, because that's essentially what happens with me. The guide's always teaching me new things. I'm always learning new techniques and deeper ways and other levels of looking into a person's field. The format of the spiritual clearing services, like how I actually do it, will most likely be changing all the time, but just know that the end result is still the same for you. Okay, so after all of that, let me give you a bit of background as to why it came about, like why I actually decided to offer this spiritual clearing service. And it's really simple. I got slammed and I didn't even know about it. And it's funny because as a shamanic practitioner, you kind of think, oh yeah, I can tell when, I've got all these various energies or entities on me and all that sort of stuff. But I couldn't, I was really tired and I didn't know why. I kind of just equated it to being a mother of a baby, getting lack of sleep whilst doing all my work. But that wasn't the main reason why. I'd also been getting a lot of clients which had these really difficult energies to remove, and I wanted to understand, why is it difficult? There should be another way for this. If it keeps coming, then there's obviously something for me to learn from that, because what happens with me is that something will just keep repeating and I'll start getting lots of the same thing until I actually click on and go, hang on a second, I've got to do something here. So anyway, long story short, I went and got myself a healing and realized that I had all of these energies that had been attached to me and were taking all of my energy, and I was horrified. I was absolutely horrified because, again, being a shamanic practitioner, it's kind of like, you should kind of know what you're doing, right? Anyway, for me, it was the learning experience. It had to happen because it's part of my past to actually be able to do this and clear other people. So in order for me to do this sort of work, I learned by having it done to me. That's what my guides like to call the initiation. So once I am aware of the particular energy, and for me, once I have a label put on that energy, then it's easier for me to identify it in everyone else. It's kind of like you don't know what you don't know. And so when you get to that point, things will happen, you will learn, and then you'll be able to recognize things when it starts to come into your field. So having had that happen to me, and also realizing that it actually happens to a lot of healers, but they don't realize it, I went on a big quest to find out effective ways to be able to remove all of that sort of stuff without getting affected myself. Now, I still do get affected once in a while, and again, that's part of my learning, because then there's something that I've been missing, so then I can figure it out, and then we grow, and makes, the next spiritual clearing is like easier, more effective, and I can go deeper. But that's essentially what led me to get to this spot, because I realized everyone needs to be cleared. We don't know what we don't know. And even if, you as a healer or a client comes in and you've got all this sort of stuff and you walk away, you feel great, or you think that you've cleared everything, you need to know that you should always just double check your field to make sure you got everything. And sometimes things will attach. There are darker energies out there who are very sneaky. They'll flit in and out of dimensions. They'll hide in things, they make you think that you've cleared it, but you haven't really. And then they come back with a vengeance afterwards. So with all of that, that's why I created the spiritual clearing sessions and services. So it's not just for healers, it's also for clients, because we all have this sort of stuff on us. And once you get cleared, you actually begin to feel and understand and know who you are, what you are like a little bit more, which then makes it easier to know when something starts to come into your field. So it's by clearing, it actually helps you recognize and establish some boundaries around it. But also by clearing, it then helps someone like me to get to the bottom of a particular issue that you're facing without being interfered with, without getting the wrong messages through and all that sort of stuff. So I would highly recommend that you think about getting a clearing, whether it's from me or from somewhere else, it doesn't matter, but just putting it out there, knowing that, energy hygiene is really important. And I myself still get myself, I check myself every single day. And then once a month or two, I will go and get myself cleared by someone else as well. So just knowing that it's not just a one-off job. The more you strengthen your aura, the more you're going to be able to realize it, and then the less you're going to need to have the big clearings and all that sort of stuff. But so it's every single day we have a shower or a bath. You should probably check your energy every single day as well. So that's why it came about. Okay, next one. What happens when I'm doing the clearing? Okay, so it is a remote service, which means that you don't have to be in the room with me to do it. That said, I still do it when some people book in, but this is kind of like a standalone service and I do it remotely. You don't have to book it in a time or a date and you don't have to put time aside in order to feel the effects of the clearing when I'm doing it. Okay, so the beauty of this is that I will do it when I can, and I'll let you know the day on which I'm going to do it, and then you can go about your day. Go about your day, do whatever you want. I'll do it, and after that I will send you an email summary of what was found. Just know, however, once you've booked in, some people will start to feel some pretty intense emotions leading up to the time that I actually do the clearing, because the energies have realized that they're pretty much going to be gotten rid of once I sit down and actually start doing the work. So there have been instances where some of my clients have gotten really pissed off leading up to the time, and then once cleared, they're absolutely fine. After the clearing, you might feel quite energetic. It's how you integrate the clearing is different for every single person, because some people who are very sensitive will feel it when I'm actually doing it, right? One moment they'll feel heavy, and then the next moment, bang, they're just like, whoa, something just happened here. That's because I'm doing it on you at that point in time. Others, you might not feel it until a bit later. You might have some more emotions come up. You might get inspiration or clarity in terms of what has been going on with you and all that sort of thing. For some people, it's going to get worse before it gets better. Okay, just putting it out there. I always say give yourself a few days to let it integrate and then see how you go. If there's still some stuff which is happening, contact me and then we can chat about it a little more. But that's essentially what happens. So if you'd like to book in, and you don't have to be in Australia or Sydney for me to do it, I can tap into you anywhere around the world. You can head to my website. I can put all the details below. Head to my website, book on in. I'll contact you with the day in which I will do it, and then you go about your day, do whatever you want, and then after it's done, I will send you a summary of what was found. Now, the summary will, list how many whatever I found and all that sort of thing. If I feel it's appropriate, I'll tell you how long those things have been around as well. but generally there's not going to be that much sort of in-depth information in terms of, oh my god, when did it come in, why is it here, and all that sort of stuff. The important thing is that it's cleared. If there's a lesson that you need to learn from it, then it'll come through and I'll put it in the email. But if not, you don't need to know. Just be okay with the fact that it's gone. And of course, if you do have questions, you can always email me afterwards and then I'll get back to you when I can, sort of thing. So I know it's a bit of a long video, so apologies for that. But I really wanted to be able to explain to you this whole thing about the spiritual clearing services and why it potentially might be a bit different to the other, clearing things that you've seen before. As I said before, it's not just about going through and clearing your chakras. This is deeper. It's other things that are within your field that I can, myself and the guides really, we can check in and remove them for you. So yeah, if you've got any questions, again, just send me an email on inquiries@trinityhealthandliving.com.au. Again, I'll put the contact details below. And I look forward to seeing you or sensing you sometime in the future. Take care. Bye.